Is there any need to go back to pre-1953 for Jammu and Kashmir? Does going back to pre-1953 for Jammu and Kashmir really emerge as a solution? Does that really work? Tonight on the news hour, I have Mustafa Kamal of the National Conference tonight. Also with me is Mehbooba Mufti, PDP chief. Thank you very much. Rajiv Pratap Rudi is with us tonight of the BJP, has strong views on this. And Kamal Haq, is spokesperson of Panoon Kashmir, is joining us from Delhi. I want to ask you first, Mehbooba Mufti. This report, it's a report, a reported recommendation to go back to a pre-1953 position, or say that even be open to discussing a pre-1953 solution, a situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Is this going to help bring about a lasting peace in the state, or is this just political rhetoric, an attempt to sort of test the waters?
Well, Arunabh, we have not heard anything, officially as yet. It's very premature. But having said that, first of all, for any kind of solution, you need to have a congenial atmosphere on the ground. I mean, you must have heard the interlocutors last time that, how people are being harassed, how youth are being harassed. You had more than 4,000 youth in and out of the jails for during a very short period. Today also 1,500 youth are on the run. So first, for any kind of solution, you need to build an atmosphere on the ground. And secondly, PDP definitely would like to see some kind of, restoration, the erosion which has taken in Article 370. And that is the internal dimension. As I said already, we want to see an elected governor, once from Jammu province, once from Kashmir province. We want to see, abrogation of Article 356. But the external dimension is very important. Let me complete, Aruna, please. See, when you talk about autonomy, it's one constituent. I mean, there are many things that we and National Conference may agree, but there are many things we may not agree. But as far as the external dimension of the Kashmir problem is concerned, it's very important, because that is going to bring the real change on the ground. That is going to make Ladakh, Jammu, Kashmir an equal partner, equal stakeholder in the peace of the state. No. And it's also going to, open new avenues of trade, travel for the people of Jammu and Kashmir.
I understand that you have your own arguments on this, but my question is, take a position tonight. My question is this tonight, that of course there is, there are political tremors in Jammu and Kashmir. The state government is under pressure. My question is, who does this help? Who does this help, Mustafa Kamal? If Jammu and Kashmir goes back to the situation prior to the dismissal and arrest of Sheikh Abdullah in August 1953, how does that help the situation in 2011? Is this just sort of symbolism, attempt at getting some brownie points for Omar Abdullah?
But to tell you very frankly, that the position that Jammu and Kashmir state enjoyed in the constitution of our country was eroded progressively since 1953, and the leader and the founder of the National Conference, Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah, Sher-e Kashmir, didn't go to prison for nothing. It is restoring the constitutional position that existed at the time of accession of Jammu and Kashmir state with the Union of India, based on the instrument of accession of late Maharaja Bahadur Hari Singh, that a constitutional arrangement was arrived at between the two parties, Government of India and Government of Jammu and Kashmir. Let us not forget the resolution, especially the Delhi Agreement of 1952, Sir, guaranteeing the special status to the state of Jammu and Kashmir based on the instrument of accession of Maharaja Hari Singh, was presented to the parliament by no other person than the Home Minister, late Vallabhbhai Patel.
Sir, I'm asking
and seconded
you tonight,
by no other person than by Shama Prasad
Mukherjee. Tonight in 2011.
My father went into prison. Why was he in prison in 1953? It was to give, it was the start of erosion of autonomy that is enshrined in the Constitution of India. Under Article 370,
I'm asking you tonight.
Glory.
No, with all respect, sir, with all respect, I'm asking you tonight that I am asking you the situation prior to the dismissal and arrest of your father, Sheikh Abdullah's government in 1953. Suppose today, 58 years later, suppose today, 58 years later, we go back to that position. What is the guarantee that it will not make the Jammu and Kashmir Council of Ministers absolute, unbridled, unquestionable? What is the guarantee that the same Council of Ministers which Mehbooba Mufti today says is not being able to deliver the results will not become a law unto itself? What is the guarantee they will bring about solutions?
Now, these are excuses to find holes where the holes don't exist. This arrangement, almost in its original form, existed till 1964.
So what is the guarantee?
Let's not forget that.
What is the, the question here tonight is also one-off. Let me go to Rajiv Pratap Rudy. The concept of Jammu and Kashmir's segregation from India. This will embolden the people, who believe that this, you may talk about it as restoration of autonomy. It will embolden the people who believe in segregating Jammu and Kashmir from the rest of India. Let me take Rajiv Pratap Rudy in at this stage. Mr. Rudy, what do you think?
Well, I have a very small submission. I do not want to contradict and make the whole dialogue slightly messy. But my point is, we all know that Jammu and Kashmir does enjoy a greater degree of a different status altogether as far as the whole constitution is concerned. And it does have much more than other states have. And now 60 years down the line, when other states have grown, why is that we still give a voice to a thing which could have been easily settled and there was enough for the state to grow? When we talk about the state craving to have some more autonomy, there is always a perception and a threat which we see the borders and the forces beyond the borders trying to position themselves within the state, giving a stress to the country. And this is exactly because we have already seen that Jammu and Kashmir, the valley in Kashmir, has seen the exodus of large number of Hindus, about 5 lakh Hindus. Now there are many things which are happening on the border, the way insurgency grew over the years, the way we did have infiltration all throughout, the way we saw that the army had to be brought in to meet the situation there. All this was not very conducive to whatever we had plans, or maybe even if autonomy which was being talked could have been there, but witnessing whatever was happening on the borders there and in the districts is something which would not convince any Indian whatsoever to agree even to discuss. And that is the situation when the interlocutors are going down.
That's right.
And positioning themselves with certain proposals, it is not going well at all. And the Bharatiya Janata Party has made it very categorical that the day we fought to have our ideological positioning, and when we said that we cannot have two constitutions, we cannot have two Supreme Courts, we cannot have two designations, we cannot have two nation theory there, that is a two-state theory there. All these was the things which we have been talking all throughout. And I think it's high time that a dialogue to integrate Kashmir as it was envisaged should be done.
Okay, so dialogue to integrate Kashmir. Let me just pull out for our viewers. In 1953, Mustafa Kamal and Mehbooba Mufti, please answer this beyond the political rhetoric. We all believe Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. In 1953, Jammu and Kashmir had a Prime Minister, today it has a Chief Minister. In 1953, it did not, like it does today, come totally under the Indian Constitution. 1953, you elected your governor, today the centre appoints the state governor. Tell me, by making these, one or two changes, where is the guarantee that any new form of government in Jammu and Kashmir will not subvert democratic institutions, deprive people of basic civil liberties and political rights, not come under the influence of hardline and elements influenced from Pakistan? What is the guarantee that that will not happen? Mehbooba Mufti.
Well, I don't know. First of all, I would like to, say one thing, that when Sheikh Saab fought for 22 years, he did not fight for autonomy, because when he was dismissed because he was looking for something else, as are the allegations. So for 22 years, he fought for plebiscite, rather for going with Pakistan. So that is on record. That is not, he never fought for autonomy during those 22 years. Second thing is, please, Arunabh, tell me, we are in a democratic country. If we have an elected governor, what is wrong with that? If we ask that, let's have a 50-50 ratio, this 90-10 ratio in IPS services. What's wrong with that? If we say let's be compensated, let our be compensation for the Indus Water Treaty, the losses of Indus Water Treaty, 50,000 crores we are losing. This is what PDP is wanting. PDP is not asking for, you know, that the jurisdiction of Supreme Court should not be in Kashmir.
No, we have
Election
seen
Commission should not be in. That is not our place. But
we have seen.
There are certain things. We are living in a democracy.
No, we have seen.
Having an elected governor is much better than having somebody forced from, you know, New Delhi.
My question was different. My question you have not answered.
Yeah, what?
My question was totally different. Neither you have answered nor Mustafa Kamal. In fact, I want you to answer this. We have seen how political parties in Jammu and Kashmir have come and fallen under the influence of hardline elements. We have seen the influence these elements have had. We have seen how political parties in Jammu and Kashmir have not even taken on people supported by Pakistan who have never fought an election. Tell me tomorrow, if you have a committed Sadr-e-Riyasat, if you have a committed judiciary, if you have a very emboldened Prime Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, what is the guarantee that person or that institution or that government won't come under the influence of the same elements that seek to separate Jammu and Kashmir from India? Please tell me.
Well, as
yes,
I'm
first
concerned,
of all, you know, for
now
you want to
Mrs. Mahbooba Mufti has spoken, and I would like to speak now.
Yes.
Why do you suspect that if the constitutional arrangement arrived at by their leaders, the founders of modern India and founders of modern Jammu and Kashmir, and their associates arrived at, is going to bring chaos here? And Mrs. Mahbooba Mufti is saying that Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah was arrested because he was asking for something else, as she alleged that it was an allegation against him. And he was not asking for autonomy. She should remember that the 1977 election was fought for the restoration of the position of 1953. Let's not forget that. And 1953, restoration of 1953 position would be restoring the constitutional relationship between J&K as it stood in 1953. Why do you suspect? Did Sadr-e-Riyasat go wrong? Or why do you suspect that the Prime Minister elected at that time will go wrong? It's a constitutional arrangement. It's an arrangement.
Are you, Mr. Mustafa Kamal?
Between
Mr. Mustafa Kamal
and Srinagar,
have political parties in Jammu and Kashmir displayed? Okay, let me get it. Let me get another voice in. Let's get Kamal Haq.
Now you're bringing other factions. They are products of militancy. They are produced internally and under a conspiracy. And I must admit here that one of the honourable ladies in your panel,
yes,
belongs to that group, who is responsible for introducing this gun to displace.
I will have to let Mahbooba Mufti respond to your point here tonight. It's not directly linked to the debate.
Very clear.
But she has a right to respond.
By the rights, constitutional rights of the NK people.
Can you speak?
Yes, Mahbooba Mufti, you have a right to respond. Mr. Haq, I'll come to you after that. Yes.
Territory.
Well, Arunabh, you know, it's a history that when the 87 elections were rigged, MUF wanted to become a part and parcel of the mainstream of the Indian constitution. It was National Conference, you know, who rigged the election and forced, whether it was Yasin Malik or Saeed Salahuddin, to pick up the guns. So it's known to everybody. Mahbooba Mufti was not there in politics at that point of time. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that. My point is,
why don't you want to get into that?
My point is, Arunabh, when you say,
What about the election commission? What about the Supreme Court?